Welcome to Cheryl K's Cooking Diaries, old-fashioned Southern cooking. Hey guys, welcome back to Cheryl K's Cooking Diaries. This evening, I thought we would put together some homemade blueberry muffins. So give me just a minute and let me show you how to put this together. Okay guys, here we go. This is what you're going to need to make these blueberry muffins. This is in my recipe book. For the streusel, y'all, you are going to need a 1/4 cup of brown sugar. Now I'm going to use, I've got light brown sugar and you can use either or, the light or the dark, but I'm going to use some of the dark brown cane sugar. The light works just as well, whatever you prefer. Okay guys, on the flour, you need to use a 1/4 cup of flour because 1/8 of a cup is not enough. My streusel didn't turn out right this time. I got the streusel recipe from somebody else, so use a 1/4 cup of flour. And then you're going to need, you can use some nuts and put them on top with your streusel, put them in the streusel when you make the streusel up, or you can take some nuts and put it in the actual batter, if that's how you like it. Now my husband likes his nuts in the batter instead of on the top, so we're going to put these inside some of the batter, but I'm going to have to divide it out because I can't eat nuts, so we're going to just kind of divide the batter out. And then you're going to need 3 tablespoons of room temperature butter. Then you're going to need 1/2 teaspoon of just the ground cinnamon. Okay, and that's all you're going to need to make the streusel. So now on to making the muffins. For the muffins, y'all, you will need 3 more tablespoons of butter. Now this butter we're going to put in the microwave and we're just going to melt this, okay? So you're going to need 1/2 cup of white granulated sugar. You are going to need 2 eggs. I don't have those out yet, but we'll get them out when we need them. And you're going to need 2 cups of the self-rising flour. You're going to need 3/4 of a cup of buttermilk. I don't have that out, but we'll get it when we need it. You can also use regular milk if that's what you prefer. You're going to need 1 teaspoon of the vanilla. I use the pure vanilla, but you can use whatever kind you want to use. And you're going to need, guys, on the blueberries, is something you can use anywhere between a cup, you can use 1.5 cups, whatever, however many blueberries you like in your muffins, that's what you use. So I'm going to use, I don't know, we'll wait and see, but these here, I need to get used up before they go bad. So what I done is I did sprinkle a little bit of sugar on these. Open the bag up and I just kind of sprinkled some sugar on them just to make them a little bit sweeter because blueberries aren't that sweet. So washed and they have been dried. So I've gone through them, picked out any bad ones or anything like that, but for the most part all of them was on, pretty good. So guys, that's all you're going to need for the muffins, okay? You're going to need you a muffin tin. This is a smaller little muffin tin, but this is perfect for me and my husband. I don't need anything any bigger, and I don't make muffins a lot, but I do make other things with this sometimes. So this is the only one I do have. So what we'll wind up having to do is just make probably a couple batches or whatever. So anyway, y'all, let me get some of this stuff organized, and then I'll be back, and then we'll start putting all this together. So give me just a minute. Okay guys, let's get this started. Oh, by the way, you are going to need some of the cooking spray to spray your muffin tin with. Or you can use the liners if that's what you want to do. I'm not going to use the liners, but I just wanted to show y'all if you wanted to use liners, feel free to do so. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to start making our streusel. That comes first. So what we're going to do here is we're going to mix all of our ingredients together for the streusel that I told you. So we're going to start out with the 1/4 cup of brown sugar. Okay, so we're going to put, like I said, we're going to put a 1/4 cup of the brown sugar. I'm just going to put it in my little pie plate here. Makes it easier to stir it together. And then after the brown sugar, we are going to put 2 tablespoons of the self-rising flour. All right, 1. There's 2. I'm going to add 3 tablespoons of our room temperature butter, and I have it. Okay, we're just going to throw that in there. And then we're going to use a half a teaspoon of the ground cinnamon. And there goes our half a teaspoon of cinnamon, but okay guys, here comes the part where you're going to want to add about a 1/4 cup of flour. I only added 1/8 of a cup, and that's 2 tablespoons. That's what another girl recommends, but it's just not enough for a crumble. So I would recommend adding a 1/4 of a cup of flour and mix it in a little bit, but don't over mix this, because if you do, it will become more creamy. And I think that's where I kind of went wrong. So I'll know this for next time, but it's been a long time since I've made this. So anyway, you just want to mix in all your flour and all of your sugar and cinnamon together. Okay, that's all we're trying to do here to make this crumble. You don't want to sit and mix this too much, because it will cream in together if you do. And I know when I made it before, I made that mistake. Anyway, here's our crumble. Set this to the side, because now we're going to be making up our muffins. We're going to get them going. 3 tablespoons of butter, and I have to cut this. And this is going to go in the microwave this time. Okay, and I'm going to melt this in my batter bowl for use. If you don't have a batter bowl, you can use whatever kind of bowl that you prefer. So give me just a minute, guys, and when I come back, I'll have the butter melted, and we'll move on, and we'll get these muffins together. So give me just a minute. Guys, here we go. All right, I've melted our butter, 3 tablespoons of butter, and what we're going to do is we're going to add our half a cup of sugar, and we are going to add our 2 eggs, and then we're going to whisk all that in pretty good. We don't have to whisk it extremely hard, because if your batter is a little bit lumpy, your mix, it could be, so don't worry too much about that. All right, there goes our half a cup of sugar into our butter. Okay, and then now we're going to add our 2 eggs to this. Okay, there's 1. And there's 2. All right. Now we're going to whisk this together. Okay, that's all you're going to do here. All right. Okie dokie, guys. Now what we're going to do is, now that we've got that kind of whisked together a little bit, add our milk, and we're going to add our vanilla. So on our milk, we are going to need, actually we're going to use buttermilk, and we're going to need 3/4 cup. Your buttermilk, really good, y'all, okay? Because y'all know buttermilk settles, so we're going to shake that real good. Here we go. Let me whisk this egg and the sugar in just a little bit more. I think it could use it. Okay, here we go. Here is 1. There's 1. There's 2. Let that drain just a little bit. And here's the last one. Buttermilk makes this so good. Buttermilk makes everything good, doesn't it, guys? I think it does anyway. All right. And then we're going to add our vanilla. And we need 1 teaspoon of vanilla. Now, I don't know if any of y'all seen my videos before. I always add a little bit extra vanilla. But that's just the way I do it. Because I think the vanilla, I just think vanilla really adds a lot of flavor to things. So, and by the way, guys, you will need to spray your muffin tins. We need to grease them. We're going to do that in a minute. And your oven needs to be set on 375 degrees, okay? All right, let's go ahead and get this vanilla added. And instead of adding 1 teaspoon, I'm going to add the 1 teaspoon, but then I'm going to add just a little bit more than the 1 teaspoon. How about I just So we're going to add our 1 teaspoon of our vanilla. And then I'm just going to add a little bit more. And I'm just going to add probably, I don't know, maybe a 1/4. So I just add just a little bit more of this to it. I just think it makes it good. It's probably a little bit more than a 1/4, but that's okay. We are going to whisk this stuff in together. And then we're going to add our flour in just a minute once we get this whisked in. And then we're going to have to add some nuts here shortly because that's the way he likes it. But we'll have to divide this. Now we're going to add our self-rising flour to this. Add a little bit at a time. If the batter's a little lumpy, that's okay too. Okay, and then we'll fold in our blueberries. So let me get some flour. I will 1 cup off here in my bag. And what I could do is, since I do sift a lot, I sift a lot of things. It's just something I prefer to do. I think what I'm going to do is take the 1st cup, and I'm just going to put it down in my sifter, just like this, okay? And I'll be able to add this just a little bit at a time by sifting it in there. Now, you don't have to do this if you don't want to. But I'm just going to sift this in here a little bit at a time. And then we're going to stir this in together. And I just think this helps things, y'all. I really do. Because it does have a few little lumps in there. Yeah, they're in the bottom now. See, I'm going to try to get them out with my finger. Okay. I guess this flour just wasn't stored correctly, so that's why it's got that in there. At first, the more that I looked at it, I noticed that, it did have, it was sort of lumpy in spots. So, you know what, y'all, let's do this. Let's stir this with a spoon. It would probably be a whole lot easier. So let's do that. Let's just stir this flour in. And I might have to use a spatula to scrape it off the sides of your bowl. So just do 1 cup at a time. That's what I'm doing. I just like to get it started with the spoon because it can make it easier to stir that flour in at the beginning. I like to get it off the sides of my bowl. Okay, we'll just finish stirring this in. Like I said, if your batter's lumpy, that's normal. So you don't have to worry about that. So we'll stir this one in, and then we're going to go ahead and get another cup, and that's all we'll be putting in this. Flour-wise, because then we're going to have to fold in our blueberries. And then they'll be ready to go and baked in the oven. Me 1 more cup of the flour. I'm going to do this one the same way. Because like I told y'all, it does have some lumps in it. Okay. And we're going to sift this cup of flour just slowly into our bowl. Yep, there's some more lumps. Guys, I'm trying to get them through with my finger. Wow. They definitely didn't store this right. So, instead of the spoon, though, I'm just going to go ahead and use my spatula. Unless I need a spoon, I will, but I'm going to go ahead and use my spatula. It's longer for me and works a little better for me, so. And then after we get this flour all stirred in, y'all, we're going to add our blueberries, okay? See there how it's getting thicker? Okay. I'm sorry, but I think You want to get all that flour stirred in. Make sure there's none at on the bottom of your bowl, okay? I'm not seeing any, so I think we've pretty much got it. But I think this could use just a tad more buttermilk, guys, because it's awful thick. And I think buttermilk makes it that way, too. I think it makes it a little thicker than sweet milk does, so we're just going to add some more buttermilk. Because we got to get our blueberries in here. So you'll just have to kind of judge this yourself on the thickness. Some people like it that way. I don't. I like my batter to be a little thinner, not super thin. I don't want it to where it's going to pour, but I do want it a little thinner because that's just way too thick, and especially having to add some blueberries. It's a little too thick for me. So let's go ahead and stir that little bit of buttermilk in. Okay. There we go. It's looking a little better now, finally. Alright, guys. No flour on the bottom of our bowl. Okay. So now let's add our blueberries. And like I said, this is up to you how many of these you want to add. I don't know exactly, like I told you at the beginning, how many is here. So what I will do is I'm going to take my measuring cup and I'll go ahead and measure them out. That way y'all will know. And like I said, let's go ahead and pour some of these in here. I'll get them poured in here, guys. And we'll make a cup of these blueberries, okay? And that's probably going to be about right because I'm about to use all these up. There might be a few over the amount. Yeah, there's here. So that is over a cup of blueberries, all right? So we're just going to dump all these in here because I like the blueberries in my muffins. Everybody is different on how many they like. So what we're going to do is we're just going to fold these in to our muffins, or muffin mix, I should say, guys. Lordy, lordy. And guys, I'm sorry. I just haven't made these in so long. And I'm going to be honest. But see, to me, that, I don't know. That looks like enough. So that was a little over a cup. Not much. So I think that'd be plenty. Okay. What I'm going to have to do here is I'm going to have to part this out like I've said. Because I'm even as the best I can. So I'm just going to say about that much maybe. I don't know. I'm going to put some nuts in his, guys. And I can't tell you how much this is. But we're going to add some nuts to his muffin mix. Okay. What we're going to do is just fold those in. Might have to add some more buttermilk to his if it gets too thick. No, maybe not. It'll be all right. I'm trying not to, stir it too much because I don't want to bust up those blueberries. And I've got some more blueberries, but I am really thinking that that's probably not going to be enough. I think I wound up getting most of the blueberries when I parted it out. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get me some more blueberries, y'all. And these has been washed and dried. And I'm going to throw him a few more in his, okay? Because I don't want to make it even, I want his to have enough in it too. So I think that's plenty right there. I don't think he needs any more because I don't want this to get any thicker. Lord, if it gets any thicker, I'm not going to be able to pour it in a muffin tin, right? I'm going to get my muffin tin. Okay. I think what I'm going to use to do this with these muffins, I've got to grease the pan first really good. But I'm thinking my scooper might be the best option for this. Get my spray. Here we go, guys. We're going to spray these muffin tins really good, okay? That's all you got to do now. Okay, and this is canola oil, by the way, that I'm spraying. And then we're going to bring our crumble back over here that we made up earlier. And then we're going to put it on top of these. So let me get my ladle. So we're going to do, since he's got some, he's got the nut batter and I've got the blueberry without nuts, I'll just do 2, 2, and 2. Okay, that's how I'll do this. So you don't want to overfill your muffin tin. And I think for my muffin tin, this is going to be too big, guys. I do. We're going to have to use a spoon. That's all there is to it. Okay. So I've got that one in there. So let me get one more of his. And I'm just going to drop it in there like that. Because my muffin tin is actually a little bit smaller than the normal tins. So these is probably going to rise up pretty good. But if they do, that's okay. Well, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'm going to make him a batch. And then I'm going to make me a batch. How's that? That way, he's got his and I'll have mine. And we'll just make it up that way instead of doing one of his here, one of mine there. Nah, we ain't going to go do all that. We'll just do it like we're doing it. We'll just do his first. But see, them nuts made his thicker. So, which I told him it was going to make his batter a lot thicker. So, okay. I'm going to put this one in here. Yeah, a spoon's better. I need to get me another muffin tin, y'all. That's a little bigger. Yeah, get that in there. And all of them's got blueberries. And what we're going to do, we're going to stick this in there. He's got a little bit left, but he's, not a whole lot. So I'm going to say he's probably got maybe 2 more muffins. So we'll fix his here just a little bit. And then, but when these come out, then I'll put mine in. But we've got to put our crumble on these. So don't fill them completely full now. Remember, if you want to get crumble on these, you need to leave some space there. They're going to rise anyway. So just dip into your crumble and just sprinkle it on top. That's all you got to do. Yes, it's going to stick to your fingers a little bit. But that's okay. And I take a little bit and I kind of just... I do just a pinch of it, and then I just kind of move it around a little bit, so I don't put too much. Okay, there's that. Because this really should be a little drier than what it is, I think. There's that one. It's in the oven. The oven's ready to go. Sorry, y'all, if you couldn't see this. But there is his muffins, and that's what they look like. And when they come out, I will show you what they look like and how they turned out. Okay, guys? And I'll be back just shortly. This is done, but I'm going to tell you something. Don't overfill your muffin tins. Like I said, mine's small. I've got to get me a regular muffin tin. And I wasn't too pleased with the crumble this time. I didn't think it did as well. But some of these kind of went over. The crumble did. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm just not pleased with that. I'm going to have to look into that a little bit more. Exactly what happened there, because it shouldn't be that way, I don't think. I melted over them, all it did. So I don't know that I'm going to put any more of this on there. So what I'm going to do is, I got my little cooling rack here. I'm going to take these out and set them on this and let them cool. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these off, okay, and then we're going to put them over here. But I'm going to tell you, they're done, and they smell wonderful. But I'm going to make sure they're loose, okay? I'll stick me a fork in them and set them right over here on this baking tray, or I mean cooling rack, and all you gotta do is stick your fork down this side and kind of stick it in the middle of them like this and pull them straight out. That's all you have to do. Because they'll come right out if just make sure you loosen them a little bit on the sides so you don't tear none up, but you need to get them out as soon as you can because these will sweat. So just stick that fork down in them and pull them over and just gently lay them on this side, okay? That's all you got to do. The topping part didn't come out as good. I'm going to tell you what, they look delicious. My goodness. The topping. Just like I told y'all, I'm not going to lie to you, it didn't turn out the greatest on the muffins, but it's delicious. It tastes good. And here's his. And look at the blueberry, y'all. Check that out. Because I didn't want to get them too done, you know. But they're done. Trust me, they are done. So what I'm going to do is, since that topping didn't turn out, I'm going to swirl this in the middle. I'm going to give it some topping. We'll spoon some out like we did before, y'all. Okay, but I'm not going to put a big bunch in here. Because, like I said, I don't. These ain't that big of a tin. Put a little bit more in there. Okay, and then one more. This might be kind of small, but just a minute, y'all. And I'll clean up like that. Run over. And what I'm going to do is, like I said, I'm just going to take some of his topping on his and mine, and I'm going to move these others over to the side so they can cool. But I'm going to put some of mine in here too, because there's no sense in just putting 3 in there, you know, and not filling up the other ones. So, let me stir my batter a little bit. And here's what I'm going to do. We're going to put, here's some of mine. So I got to remember these are his 3. There's some big blueberries in there now, let me tell you. Okay, and then as you see, it's just sort of, I'm going to take it, and what I'm going to do, I am going to sprinkle it like this. I'm just going to kind of put some on there. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to swirl it down in there with the knife here in just a minute. So, it's just hard to get off. There we go. Well, put just a little bit more of that. And I'm just going to kind of swirl this in, just like this. That's all I'm going to do with it. Because I think that'd be delicious in there myself. Just get you all a good crumble recipe first, y'all. I mean, because I think I messed up on the flour. I think they needed more flour, the crumble. I think that's where it was at, just to be honest with y'all. If y'all want to make it up like this and just swirl it in, cream it together even. You can get it in there even easier if you get it creamy. And all you gotta do is just keep mashing the butter in with it, and it will eventually get creamy the more you mash it. So, that's just been my experience anyway. I'll put these in, y'all, and when they come out, I'll show you what they turned out like with the with that cinnamon, the crumble we made. It didn't really turn out like it should have. I'll let you know how they turned out with that cinnamon stuff swirled in. So I'll be back shortly. These come out, the ones I had in here with his, and they're done. So what I'm going to do is, and I just swirled that stuff in at this time, and it did better. I think it did. Wrong on that crumble, guys. So, but you know, just making these like this without a crumble, they're still delicious. So if y'all want to make these, just make them without the crumble, unless you have a good recipe for a crumble or something. See, they come out really nice. They're loosened up. So what I do is, my house smells like blueberries. The hay, pretty good. I guess I could have let them brown a little bit more, but I didn't think they needed to. So I'm going to let these cool, guys, and we're going to put these other ones in, and that's going to be it. So, some more cooking spray, just a little bit. And this is a topping that I made that didn't turn out very good. I mixed it in with mine. I said heck with it. So I mixed it in here, and we're just going to pour these in here, and that's it. So let's do this. So I'm not going to fill them too full because they overflow if you do that. Especially, and as soon as they come out, I'll show you what they turned out like. Guys, the last batch come out. These are good, and they're delicious. And they're going to be, it's going to be nice to have them, especially in the morning. And my husband's with that crumble, how it turned out on top of his, it kind of caramelized with that brown sugar. So, but I think I'm going to let the rest of these cool over here in the cooling rack, guys, before I transfer them over, because I may have to stack them a little bit or move them to the side so I'll have enough room for all of them. So anyway, guys, I hope you've enjoyed this, and what I will do is I will get a muffin, and I'm going to cut it and show y'all what it looks like in the middle, just so you know. I'm sure you know what a blueberry muffin looks like, but I just wanted to show you mine. Here we go, guys. Check that out. Look at that. Fresh blueberry muffin. Now, see, I like a lot of blueberries, and when you put a lot of blueberries, that's how you get your muffins like that, is putting a lot of blueberries in them. Just so you know. So, they look really good. I'm happy with the way they turned out, guys, regardless. If you guys want to make the crumble, I think what I would do is I would either add a little more flour to it, but or go online somewhere and find out a good recipe for a crumble, because a crumble is something that I don't make very often. So if you don't make the crumble that goes on top of these muffins, these are still just as good without that crumble. And you know, as I hope you make them, they turned out nice and they look good regardless. So listen, if you don't mind, go to Cheryl K's Cooking Diaries on Facebook and like, and comment, and share, and follow. I greatly appreciate it. If you don't mind to go to YouTube, my YouTube channel, and like and subscribe, I would appreciate it. So let you go. Y'all stay safe, and always remember to keep God in your heart and God in your life. Bye.